Ahoy, this is Zdenka. How to use Insta360 Flow 2 Pro smartphone gimbal. This is a complete guide for beginners. Let's go through everything from balancing, gimbal modes, AI sensor, light, all the way to learning how to use this gimbal with the Insta360 app. Timestamps are enabled so you can find the sections you're looking for easier. I suggest bookmarking this video as there is a lot of information to consume at once. Just come back to it and replay the sections you want to learn. For those who are watching this video to learn more about this gimbal, I can tell you right now that there are many features and button functions that might not have been shown in other videos. I will be using iPhone 16 Pro. This video is brought to you by Zike. Let's start with the basic setup. When you look at the gimbal, there are two Type-C ports. The in port on handle is to charge your gimbal. It takes roughly 80 minutes to fully charge. When it is charged, the lights will be solid. The port on the arm is out port. You can use the gimbal as a power bank when the gimbal is off. Connect the phone and press the power button, which also is the M button. If the gimbal is on, it will start charging automatically. If you have an AI tracker, this is where you connect it. How do you power on the gimbal? Let's attach the phone clamp to your smartphone. Make sure you align the camera icon with your cameras and that the clamp is in the middle of your phone. Align the red dot with the part on the clamp and snap in. Unfold the gimbal and the gimbal will turn on automatically. If you want to place the gimbal on the table, just pull out the tripod legs at the bottom. To fold the gimbal, close the tripod legs, press the button, and hold for 2 seconds to turn it off. The gimbal goes into folding position, detach the phone, and then simply fold the gimbal. You will need to activate the gimbal in the Insta360 app before using it for the first time. Once you download the app, make sure Bluetooth and Wi-Fi are on. Go to the Insta360 app and follow all instructions. Once you open the Insta360 app, the device will be automatically recognized. You will get a pop-up. If you will see a prompt to update the firmware, please make sure you follow through. If you have an iPhone 12 and later model and run iOS 17 or higher, you can pair this gimbal with NFC to be able to quickly connect the gimbal. It also automatically launches the Insta360 app for faster shooting. It will also allow you to track via Apple Dock Kit in any app. If you have Android phone, you will be able to quickly connect the gimbal and automatically launch the Insta360 app, but the tracking will be available only in Insta360 app. To be able to track in any app, you will need to purchase the AI tracking module, if it is not already in your kit. To pair the gimbal via NFC, turn on the gimbal, turn on Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, and stay on the home screen. Bring the phone close to the gimbal and wait for the pop-up window. Once it shows up, tap Connect. Then attach the phone to the gimbal. The gimbal will nod, which means the connection is successful. I will explain how to track shortly. Let's explain all button functions when you are filming in native camera app or any app of your choice except Insta360 app. I will explain extra features in Insta360 app later, as they can do a lot more there. Again, now we are in native camera app. At the bottom is power button, that is also M button. If you long press the power button, the gimbal will turn off. When the gimbal is off, if you short press the power button, you will see how much battery you have left with the lights. Full light circle is fully charged battery. As I mentioned earlier, if the gimbal is off and you have phone connected to the gimbal via cable, once you short press, you will turn the gimbal into a power bank that will charge your phone. Let's turn the gimbal back on. If you single press the button, you will switch to the next gimbal mode. If you double press the button, you will switch to the previous gimbal mode. If you triple press, the gimbal will go into a sleep mode. To wake it up, just press any button, even the trigger button on the back will turn it back on. If you want to check battery level when the gimbal is on, press and hold the trigger at the back and single press the power button. Let's explain the right switch button. When you double press the button, you will switch between filming in horizontal and vertical mode. By the way, you can also do that by hand. The gimbal allows manual rotation. Just move the phone like this. If you single press, you will switch between front and rear camera. This also works if you will be tracking yourself in Apple phone via Apple Dock Kit. To enable tracking, press the trigger in the back one time. The light will start flashing. That means you are being tracked. Now, when you press the switch button one time, you will switch to rear camera. The light will be solid green. That means it is not tracking. Press one time the switch button to go back to the front camera. The light will be flashing as it will keep tracking you. To turn off tracking, press the trigger one time in the back. The record button is on the left. It just starts and stops recording. Let's move on the top C button. If you single press, you will activate one-click 360 degrees capture. It will just slowly spin around. Joystick is in the middle, just push around to move the gimbal. To recenter the gimbal, press the trigger in the back 2 times. The next one is zoom wheel. If you are filming a native camera app with the rear cameras, you can zoom in and out. This feature only works on iPhone through Apple Dock Kit. The last button is the trigger button at the back. As I already mentioned, if you double press, you will recenter the gimbal. If you triple press, you will turn the camera around so you can film yourself with rear cameras. And as I mentioned earlier, if you film yourself in native camera app, if you single press, you will enable tracking via Apple Dock Kit. Before I continue with gimbal modes, let's take a little breather to get the brain a bit of a reset. Learning all the buttons and functions can be pretty overwhelming. Later on in the video, you will learn that you can film in Apple ProRes in the Insta360 app. If you will be filming in a higher frame rate, 4K 60 frames per second, you will need external storage, such as this brand new Zike extended storage for iPhone 16 and 15 series. It is very tiny, weighing only 0.053 pounds. Transfer speeds, read and write speeds are displayed on the screen. Shooting 4K at 120 frames per second ProRes video outdoors is supported. You can just plug in if you will be using it with Insta360 Flow 2 Pro gimbal, or if you will be filming handheld, it is all magnetic, it sticks to your phone. It is compatible with magnetic cases. It has a cooling fan, there is no sound. It has RGB color effects and LCD screen monitor that shows you everything in real time. Speed data, health working hours, charging power, and even real-time temperature. You can still charge your phone with it. It supports 27 watt maximum charging power, and your iPhone can maintain battery power even during intensive ProRes recording. They have several capacity options all the way to 2 terabytes, and you can use it on any device: iOS, Windows, Android, PlayStation, you name it. Link to this product can be found below the video in the video description. Thank you very much, Zike, for making this video possible. There are more functions when it comes to trigger that I will explain in this next section. Let's cover gimbal modes. There are 6 of them on this gimbal. As there is no display that tells you what mode you have selected, you will have to memorize this part. When you turn on the gimbal, it will be in default auto mode. It is beginner-friendly mode that will automatically adjust the motors based on your movements, for example, running versus stationary. When you are in auto mode, the light will be at the top. Let's press the M button at the bottom to get to the next mode. The light is on the right, it is follow mode. Pan and tilt motors are unlocked. You can freely move to the sides and up and down. Press the M button again to get to the next mode. That is pan follow mode. The light is now at the bottom. As the name already suggests, it will follow pan movement. The tilt motor is locked, so the gimbal will stay at the same level. You get free movements to the side only. Let's press the M button once again to get to FPV mode. The lights are now on the left. All motors are unlocked. FPV mode sort of mimics airplane movements. You can move in any direction. In this mode, when you move the zoom ring, you can rotate the roll motor in any direction. If you press and hold the trigger, you will enter lock mode. All 4 lights will be on as a circle. Lock mode is when all motors are locked. It holds the same frame no matter where you move. This is good for follow shots or straight in line long distance shots. The last mode is active plus mode for fast moving scenes. To get there, press the trigger one time, press again and hold. The light at the top will be blinking. Once you release the trigger, you will get back to previous mode. This gimbal has 5 filming grip modes. Quick grip is the basic on-the-go mode. The tripod fix mode is for filming static shots or using the deep track. For push-through and low-angle shots, you can extend the selfie stick and bend the elbow, which is low grip. Next is free tilt mode. Pull the selfie stick out and bend the elbow 90 degrees towards you. At the back is an arrow that points to off. Turn it left so it points to on. All is left to do now is to press the trigger 2 times, and now you are in free tilt mode. There is no more restriction. You can film large tilt movements. To get out of it, turn it so the arrow is pointing to off, and straighten up the phone to basic quick grip mode. The underslung grip is the last position for filming low angle shots. Simply turn the gimbal upside down. And if you extend the selfie stick, you won't have to bend over that much. It will help you to get even closer. Before I continue, give it a thumbs up if you're enjoying this video so far, and consider subscribing for future content like this, as it really helps this channel. Let's explain the AI tracker that can track you in any app of your choice. Once you connect it and turn on the gimbal, it will be automatically on. The light will be red. There is also a power button in case you need to turn off the AI tracker. There are 2 gestures that control this tracker. Show the hand palm to start or stop tracking, and this gesture is for start and stop recording. There are 2 additional buttons for controlling the light. If you long press one of them, you will turn on the light. If you have the tracker at the bottom, the left button has 3 levels of light strength and the right button has 3 color temperatures. To turn it off, long press one of those buttons again. Let's cover another big section, and that is the Insta360 app. Let's go to the filming interface. The first icon on the left takes you to where you select resolution and frame rates. Below is where you can switch from filming in automatic mode to manual mode, where you can also select white balance. If you will be filming in manual mode, you will need a VND filter. Make sure the filter is very light and don't exceed the maximum payload. When the gimbal is not balanced properly and load is too heavy, it's going to shut down. The next icon will take you to gimbal settings. Gimbal modes are first. If you hit the icon, it will take you to a tutorial where you can learn more about each gimbal mode. The zoom wheel is set to zoom by default. You can change it to manual focus here. Now when I turn the wheel, I can change the focus. Let's switch it back to zoom. Motor strength is set to medium by default. Other options are low and high. In auto mode, you cannot select follow speed. Once you change the gimbal mode to follow, for example, Now you can change the follow speed. The choices are slow, medium, and fast. Joystick speed can be also customized, again slow, medium, and fast. Barrel roll settings are next. If you press the C button, you will get to barrel roll, where the camera is just spinning around. You can control the speed and change the direction of the spin from counterclockwise to clockwise. Zoom speed is set to medium by default. You can change it here. You can enable horse tracking, disable front camera auto tracking, and always on tracking if you need to. You can reverse joystick horizontally and vertically, disable sound and vibration, which is great if you're filming weddings, for example. You can perform auto calibration if you find the horizon level is a bit off. You can adjust horizon manually and control the strength of the tracking light, or you can also turn it off completely. The last icon on the left takes you to general settings. Here you can enable grid for better composition, histogram that will show you if the image is exposed properly. You can enable selfie flip that will simply flip sides on the image. I would keep it off as you can mix front and rear shots. You can enable Dolby Vision here. If it bothers you that every time you turn on the gimbal, pop-up shows up to enter Insta360 app, you can disable it here. You can turn off scene recognition, voice control, enable filming in Apple ProRes, where you can film in HDR, SDR, and log profile. If you will be filming in higher frame rates, 4K 60 frames per second, you will need external storage. The files will be very large. You can turn off GPS if you don't need location information of the shots. There are tutorials below, quick start guide, tutorial, and button guide. Device information, firmware version, and serial number. You can enable Save Unstitched Panel Photos, and you can enable Save Original Hoop Mode file. When you record a long video, by default, the screen will turn off after 90 seconds. You can change the duration here or completely turn it off by selecting Never. The last option is to reset settings to default. Let's explain the top icons. Shot Genie Library lets you look up a scene by voice control. You just say where you are and it's going to pull up shot suggestions and guide. Filters are next. Beauty mode that only works in 1080p and 720p. You can enable gesture controls. This is to take photos or start recording, single person tracking, and multi-person tracking. The last icon takes you to teleprompter. You can adjust the size of the window, move it, edit the text, change the size of the text, and change the scrolling speed. Let's move further to the right. Remote control icon is next. When you press that, you can use another phone to control the gimbal. Just scan the QR code. It will take you directly to the Insta360 interface. You don't need to download any app. You will see a joystick. You can turn the camera vertically or horizontally, change lenses, switch between rear and front camera, and select one of the other shooting modes offered: photo, video, slow motion, and widescreen recording. On the other side are filming modes. If you select panel photo, you can choose from shooting 3x3, 180, 240, and full 360 panel photo. The question mark below will give you direction how to place the camera. You can shoot that in HD and Ultra HD. The next one is photo, where you can also take live photo if your phone supports it. Video is next, time lapse, time shift, slow motion, dolly zoom, widescreen recording, live mode, which is for live streaming, and hoop mode, where you can select if you want to film full court or half court. Let's go through tracking in Insta360 app. Once you single press the trigger, you will enable tracking. You will also see 3 icons here: Tracking Plus, Active Zoom Tracking, and Pro Framing Grid. Tracking Plus is only to be used with a tripod for tracking for long periods. Active Zoom Tracking allows tracking up to 15 times zoom. The last option is Pro Framing Grid. You can click on any square to automatically adjust framing. You can also reframe the shot with a joystick. Let's mention the multi-person tracking. Once you enable that, everyone will be framed in the shot. Nobody will be cut out. You can also select a specific person within the group as the main subject. Let's return to the buttons on the gimbal, as earlier in the video I covered how to use the buttons in native camera app. There are more functions to these buttons if you will be using Insta360 app. First of all, if you swipe on top of this touch panel, you can switch between shooting modes. If you swipe clockwise, it will go to the next mode. If you swipe the other way, it will go to previous mode. If you are in playback mode or preview mode, if you swipe clockwise, you will fast forward the video. If you swipe counterclockwise, you will rewind the video. If you press the switch button on the right one time, you will be able to switch between front and rear cameras. If you press 2 times, you can switch between landscape and portrait mode. If you press 3 times, you can switch between photo and video mode. If you long press, it will take you to a preview page or gallery page. If you shortly press, it will play the next clip. If you press the record button here, it will move forward in the clip. To return to filming, press the M button. The record button can do more here as well. If you are in a photo mode and you press and hold the record button, you will be able to take burst photos. C button at the top, just like in the native camera app. If you press 1 time, you will activate one-click 360 capture. If you double press, you will switch to panophoto mode. If you long press in video mode, you will activate barrel roll. Zoom wheel does more than just zooms in and out. If you turn and hold, it will be zooming in. The same thing goes the other way when it comes to zooming out. If you turn and release, it will switch the lens. In preview mode, when you are watching one of the recorded videos or photos, you can zoom in and zoom out. The trigger on the other side of the gimbal will enable or disable tracking if you single press. In the preview page, single press will pause or play the video. If you own Apple Watch, you can use that as a remote for the Insta360 app. You can recenter the gimbal, hit the record button, enable tracking, and if you hit those 3 dots, it will take you to more controls. You can select between landscape and portrait mode, choose between video and photo mode, and enable timer. Give it a thumbs up if you found this helpful, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in one of those videos next. Ciao, ahoj.